something. Well, welcome back to the shop. This week's project. If you have ever built rabbit pens using these big rolls of wire, you will know how frustrating it is. So I built this cart right here. It's on casters. Got it all done yesterday, and now I'm going to weld these things on each end. And I've got some little brackets here to weld up to kind of 45-degree angle from here down to the base. And then I'm having some pieces made with some hooks on them, and I'll be able to set a rod in here, set my roll of wire on the rod through the center of it. Just leave them here, and whenever I need them, I can take my wire that's wrapped around it off, pull it out, cut it off, and I'll have room for probably 1, 2, 3 different spools of wire. Okay, here's where I'm at so far. I've got the bottom with the casters on it, moves around pretty easy. Got my uprights welded together. Got 45-degree angles for sturdying it up. This is going to be the front edge. I'll be pulling the wire this way. I put these uprights 10 inches from the front edge, and I forget what it is to the back, probably 16 inches from the front edge of this. That way when I'm pulling the wire, I'll have the top fastened to my shelving unit over there, so the top can't pull this way, and I didn't want the bottom to kick out when you're pulling on the wire, so I put most of the weight on the front edge, and the front wheels lock. So I can lock the front wheels. The weight's going to be setting more out here, fastened at the top. Hopefully it won't tip. I've got plenty of room in between here for my rolls of wire. I'm going to put 4 hooks to hang wire on. I'll see if I got room for that. But so far so good. Waiting on my hooks, and then I can make my bars to go across. One thing you got to do on the inside of the wire when they roll it up, it's got a bend in it that would catch on whatever you put it on to spin on. I went down the inside of my spools with some wire cutters and cut that off so it's more rounded on the inside. If you get a roll of wire and look inside the center hole, you'll see what I mean. It's kind of tight to get my arm down in there, and I had to cut halfway from one side and flip it over and cut halfway from the other to get it all cut out of there. But that's what I do so that it'll spin on these things. I had another arrangement before and it didn't work very well. This should work. And I can have all my wire on here, and I don't have to switch them out. I'll be just ready to pull whatever one I want. We'll be back a little bit when I get my brackets. I'm going to take my wire, or my angle grinder with a flat disc on it, and go up and down on these because they're a little rusty. And I already did it where I did all my welding, but I'm going to go ahead and clean it up so I'm ready to weld the next parts. I tell you what, this welder will make a hack like me look half decent. Man, I'm loving this thing. That's all of them. Let's take the clamps off. Okay, here's where I am right now. I've got 3 rods going across. So what I did was I welded some washers on the end so that it'll set in here on the rat holder on the other side. That will keep it from going either way and falling off. I've got 5/8 inch washers welded to the top, and I ground the sides off flush with this tubing. And I have two 5/8 inch, 6 inch long rods that will go down in here, and then I'm going to make a bracket that goes back and up and clamps onto this 2x4. That'll keep the top from going like this when I'm pulling on the wire. I'll be able to lock the wheels on the bottom, and I hope it'll be good and solid. Should be. I got to come up with an idea on how to do this. Okay, here's a quick way to take this squared off end and make it nice and rounded. What you think? Got to do another one. Got both ends of this one rounded off. I got one more to do. Okay, here's what I came up with for the bracket to go in the top and clamp on. I got a 5/8 inch rod right there that drops down in the top of this tubing. I had welded a 5/8 inch washer on top, so this fits in there pretty good. And then this will clamp around that 2x4 shelf, the bottom of the shelf. I was thinking about welding a nut on here and drilling a hole through here and just screwing it through, but these 1/2 inch bolts only have thread so far, and I figured I'd just drill and tap this piece of 3/8 so that this screws right in there. I put a washer, welded a washer on there so I had a little more of a footprint on that side. And let me get it set up in there and I'll show you how it works. Okay, here's the top. I got the pin down in here through that washer, clamped on the wall. When it comes to pulling wire off, it's going to be as solid as a rock. I've just got to figure out how I'm going to get those rolls of wire onto these. And I got 3 of them down through here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it right now unless I get some help. But the main thing is, let me spin you around. Those 2 rolls of wire, and I've got some other small rolls of wire, are sitting on the floor and they're a pain in the butt to move around. After I get them on this cart, I can move the wire. I've got a sander here, it's on casters, a thickness planer on casters. I've got a 6 inch joiner back here, a wood lathe, this little welding cart, my table saw, my toolbox for my casting bullets, the welder. All this stuff is now going to be on casters. So if I need to do some big project right here, I can wheel it all out easily, get it out of the way, and get my job done. Thanks for watching. Now I got to get another roll of the 18 inch for the top one up there. I'm back in business making some more rabbit pins.